and I went to kibbutz, Hamadia. I had cousins there, and I was going to hang out. I was going to stay there for quite some time, and I got a little ticked off at this. The guy that was in charge of me was like an 8-year-old little kid in the Olive Grove, and no matter what I did, he said, no, you're doing it wrong. It's everything you're doing is wrong. You're supposed to be there, live like this, everything like this, like this, like this. And then we were sitting around with my cousins, and at one point they said to me, so what are you going to do? I said, I don't know, I'm going to stay here for a while and, check out Israel, and I don't know how long I'll be here, and then what? Then what are you going to do? I said, and then I'm going to go back to America, and I'm going to go to work. What kind of work? I said, I'm going to be an actor. What is this? This is bullshit. Actor is bullshit. You come to Israel, you're a Jew, you come to Israel, you get married, you go into army, you have babies, this is what you should do. I said, well, okay, maybe I'll do that too. And then I left. Then years later, we met.
Well, we met, and we ended up, I went there for the first time when I was pregnant with our first son, who's about to turn 40. And we actually named him Isaac because my father was in Irving, so we needed the I. And then we went to the cave of Machpelah
in Hebron
and learned that Isaac means laughter in Hebrew. And we felt him kick at that cave, didn't we?
We did. We rubbed we rubbed our tummy against the stone of Isaac's stone and tombstone and Abraham, and we felt this was a sign. And it was a beautiful place at that time. The children's eyes that we met, we had a beautiful Arab man who was our guide, and children's eyes were like the whole earth. Their eyes, they were so full of love, and we were there, and we were staying in the Arab in the old, not near the old city, the
Arab American Hotel.
Arab American Hotel, and I went to study in a yeshiva because I was preparing to do the film Yentl with Barbara Streisand, and so I was studying in this yeshiva, and we were staying at the hotel, and they wanted me to stop the movie from being made because they thought it was sacrilegious, and I actually loved this yeshiva. There was a man there named Rabbi Gershenson who lectured on gematria. He was the most thrilling educator I'd ever sat in the room with. I was just riveted to him for hours. He could weave a tale of numbers and letters and possibilities of everything under the sun. And it was very wonderful, amazing time. And then then the next time we were there is I went to shoot Homeland there. And so that was another journey.
Yeah, but this was very, look, I'm a secular Southern California Jew,
You are?
Yeah, you didn't
I
know
thought
that?
you were
I told
Orthodox.
you that. No, honey, we've discussed this.
My God,
honestly,
my God.
I was raised with, this was my definition of being a Jew in Southern California. You celebrated Rosh Hashanah, Passover, Hanukkah, and you practiced social justice, and you couldn't be a prejudiced person because of what was...
Here's my definition of the Southern California Jew.
Okay. If I start talking, you'll remember.
Yeah, you talk for a minute.
Okay. I mean, and he grew up, from my point of view, he grew up pretty conservative, closer. And when we were in this Israel situation with him, studying to be, this Isaac Bashevis Singer, very religious young man, and he's staying, in these Orthodox situations, and I'm at the Arab American Hotel, and I'm in a panic. I'm like saying, this is a movie, hunt, just remember, because I can't do that life. There is no way I can barely cook, much less cook kosher. That's just not going to happen.
Baruch Hu es Adonai HaMvorach. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam V'ed. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam V'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher b'ach rabbanim b'kol hamim v'natan lanu et haTorah Baruch. No, that's not the right prayer. But no, you just do the response.
Okay.
I'll do first.
Yeah.
Baruch Hu es Adonai HaMvorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMvorach.
Southern California.
Yeah.
That's my definition.
That's right.
44 years.
Yeah, but we've
merged.
We've come to some, mutuality.
If she does it any way different, I panic.
It's actually, our older son, it really took from both of us, both the extremes. And he is Mandy will call him on Friday night, and he'll call him a dozen times, and we'll get a message Saturday night saying, Dad, I keep Shabbat. it's the only time that anybody will believe it's okay to be offline or quiet, and, so I keep reminding him of that. Okay, you want to know the truth, Becky? Let's be honest here, really. During the pandemic, the basic conversation for I'd say about 2 years was, "Hi, honey, what are we eating today? What are we eating this morning?" And I say, "I don't know, I'm going to make eggs. Would you like some eggs?" And then about 10 minutes later, "And what are we having for lunch? And what are we having for dinner?" And I'm like, when did I get to be the feeder? I did that for the first 15, 18 years of my kid's life, But he makes... Actually, he's a really good natural cook. He just doesn't do it very often. He makes a great pasta sauce. But he's sort of...
Slow-cooked barbecue chicken.
Best barbecued chicken in the world.
Tuna burgers.
Tuna burgers from his mom.
Spaghetti and clam sauce were not kosher.
Yeah. But he tends also to do a hash of pretty much everything. Just put it in and stir it around. But it's not his favorite thing to do. But he's better natural than me. But somehow I'm responsible for
Both
cooking.
Our sons are great cooks.
Yeah, in response
Off
to
the
my
charts.
absolutely hating that room. I could be very happy in a room with a hot plate.
She makes great charosas.
I do. I make the best
Off the
charosas.
charts. Great fruit salad. Great rice pudding. And many other things.
Yeah, almond bread.
Almond bread.
Yeah.
No flour. Well, that had nothing to do with us.
No.
That's our son Gideon, who came home because he was worried about mom and dad at the beginning of the pandemic. We had just had we consider our real anniversary April 16th because that was our first date. And so it was like a day or two after, or maybe the day after. And we're walking down the street, and we're, for 2 weeks, we're going to be 10 feet apart, et cetera. We're walking on the country road back and forth. We stop in front
10 feet apart from our son.
From our son. We stop in front of the Forsythia, and he takes out the camera, as he often does, for like Family Archive. Asks the question, what was the deal?
How's your anniversary? And I said, well, we had a fight. And then we described the fight, and he says, do you mind if I post this? And I said, what's that?
It's the next day.
Literally. And his major point, Becky, was that we work with the International Rescue Committee. He was frustrated that the same sort of few thousand people were looking at it. He said, two things are happening. We're in a pandemic. People are terrified and miserable. I think people would appreciate this, a little bit of levity and encouragement. And also it might get more eyes onto the International Rescue Committee.
That's how we started the social media. My dear friends at IRC, International Rescue Committee, started it just for, as Kathryn said, to get more eyeballs and attention on the refugee crisis, raise money, etc. And Gideon and Isaac were both very aware of it, our sons. And that was what it was. He thought maybe it could get more eyeballs, and all of a sudden the thing went nuts.
Well, I think people loved, one of my pet peeves has always been, this was when I was 50, 60, and now 70s, you don't see people represented in the culture that look like us unless they're on the floor, saying, help me, or selling Depends or something. There is no encouragement for people your age, to say, oh, that doesn't look too bad. You can still be idiosyncratic. You can still be eccentric. You can still be you.
So you don't
even though you look
recognize
like
any
this.
of the people our age who are working or in the culture and political life or in any other area of medical life or science or anything?
No,
They're not
I
recognized
do.
by
They
you?
are recognized by me, honey. I'm saying
know.
in the
I'd like you
culture,
to count
in
them.
in the arts
It might
culture,
give you a
in
better feeling
television.
about yourself.
Thank you, honey.
Sure.
But they're very few.
Oh.
There are
Oh.
that you're seeing
Let's
in the
do
culture.
let's do a head count tonight.
You name 5 people on a television show or a movie, honey, that look like us that are not terrified. It's usually the crone or the scary
I can name
person.
a million of them.
One go.
Joe Biden, Anthony Fauci, Dr. Larry Norton.
Okay, I take it all back. But I didn't mean in science. I meant in the arts area.
You want me to take a lesser degree of life?
No,
Okay.
no. Let's move on, Becky. Move on. I believe in all sorts of diverse, authentic media that deals with, supporting your culture and supporting other cultures and doing its best to monitor disinformation. I think you have a really hard job right now, And especially with anti-Semitism on the rise, I think it's really important to have a lot of healthy, participatory Jewish points of view, among others.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I feel we all have a very finite amount of time and energy. I realize that every group, organization, etc., has their own, base fundraising systems, etc. But with that very minuscule amount of time we have in this life and energy in this life, I try to choose anything and everything that I can associate myself with that takes care of everything. Not the diaspora of Jews, but the diaspora of humanity all over the world. So I'm attracted to Jewish causes, Jewish organizations that look after everyone as human beings, as equal humanity, brothers, sisters, and all over the world to repair and tikkun our olam.
Tikkun olam. Oh my God, that stuns me. I have no idea what I would like them to know. Hello, thank you for having us. It's an interesting invitation. I said to Mandy, well, this will either be fun and interesting for everybody or, we'll separate for a few months to recover.
Which leads me to something the Cleveland Jewish community may not know. And she said, maybe we'll separate. We were separated twice.
Oh.
Once for, I think, 4 months and once for 5 or 6 months. Oh, I don't remember. We call it our troubles. And on our 25th anniversary, and what I want the Cleveland Jewish community to know is if you pick, if you're looking for a partner, just look for that feeling you can't explain, that you can't put words to, because if the what will hit the fan, it will hit the fan eventually. And you want someone that you can't define why you started off in the first place. And then if you pick lucky and you pick right, one of you will stick it out or fight through, or you'll both stick it out so that you'll be there when the 25th wedding anniversary comes, long before 44 years happen. And that 25th, she gave me this silver ring, which has 2 bumps.
Because it's silver.
It's silver for the 25th, and it has a little bump and a smaller bump, and a littler bump, because one was just a short one.
For the
but
troubles.
We couldn't be apart. We tried, thinking we needed a break. We were, we couldn't watch each other eat at some point. And we were with each other every day, every minute on the phone. And then we realized we're doomed to be with each other.